Pupils of classes 5 and 6 of Little Poly Flinders of Wonya Imongo Great Soko and Moliko Boya have visited Royal Television during an excursion exercise. In foreign news, Congolese rapper Metro Gims has reportedly been arrested in Paris over alleged involvement in a money laundering investigation. And in sports, CAF President Dr. Patrice Motsepe has been placed under increasing scrutiny both within the sport and his home country as a result of disputes surrounding AFCON. Details of these stories and more in this newscast. Good evening, dear viewers. Thank you so much for keeping the appointment again today. It is another edition of News Hour. It is a presentation of Frida Leina. As we told you in one of our top stories, Little Poly Flinders Boya has visited Royal Television during an excursion exercise with class 5 and 6 pupils of both Little Poly Flinders Wonya Imongo Great Soko and Little Poly Flinders Moliko Boya, Southwest region of Cameroon. Honorin Cheng says the learners today and leaders tomorrow expressed excitement for the opportunity and thanked the Royal Television team, which represents a new vision of Africa, for their hospitality. Details in the following report.
Nurturing excellence.
Royal TV,
The new vision of Africa.
pupils and the teachers of Little Poly Flinders Wonya Imongo Boya have paid a visit to Royal Television Boya. They recently came during an excursion exercise not just to know how a television station operates, but to touch on the ground other technicalities related to news production, programming, editing, and much more. Frida Leina Vuma, Editor-in-Chief at Royal Television, schooled them on news writing principles, the ABC of news, news qualities, and who a news presenter is, not leaving out what backpack journalism means.
And when writing news, when presenting, when giving out the news to the public, we have the ABC. The news has to be accurate. That's the truth that you want to hear. It has to be balanced.
The head teacher of Little Poly Flinders Boya not only thanked Royal Television for the opportunity, but encouraged her pupils to embrace the journalism career.
We are very grateful because everything that we have been seeing on television and thinking that it's something that is happening, I don't know whether it's in America or whatsoever, we have seen it live. So we have learned a lot. There's one thing that I've learned here today, the ABC of broadcasting. That broadcasting is supposed to be accurate, balanced, and have clarity.
With so much said and done, the pupils are not only going back refreshed with newfound knowledge, but excited to be part of this life-transforming maiden visit to Royal Television Boya, which is the new vision of Africa.
I've learned about backpack journalists, that they send them to different sides of Cameroon to complete their certain mission. I've learned that the device that they use to plug the camera also helps to carry out the things in the mix machine.
A host of these learners have expressed gratitude for the learning experience as these class 5 pupils presented the live news broadcast.
I feel happy, and I've learned that little children too can become broadcasters and journalists. I was excited, and I will tell the whole party that I've become a journalist. I learned that there's a broadcaster room that they used to arrange the news that they do down in the studio.
In the days ahead, Little Poly Flinders and the Royal Television will strike a partnership deal, it is hoped, as a children's program is in the pipeline on Kitoko Kids Royal Television.
Thank you for welcoming us and teaching us the important work you do. So as you all know, water keeps us hydrated. As a sign of appreciation, we want to give you this water. Please receive it with gratitude and love. Thank you.
Many thanks, Honorin Cheng. On to other news. Elements of the Limbe Naval Base have confiscated a huge amount of illicit drugs amounting to over 50 million francs CFA. The team, led by Navy Captain Eric Atour Landry, in collaboration with custom officials, seized these illegal drugs recently at the Bota port in Limbe. Details with Natalie Njuma.
Seized products containing illicit drugs believed to be from neighboring country Nigeria comprised sex enhancement products, Botox and breast enlargement drugs, vitamins and body sprays. According to Navy Captain Dr. Oko Petiz Edingele, Chief Medical Officer of the Limbe Naval Base and coordinator of the fight against drugs and illegal traffic of medical products in the Navy, the drugs are not only harmful to the human body but poses a serious threat to the well-being of the society.
This evaluation, this drug will be handed to the Ministry of Public Health and kept by the customs. After keeping by the customs, the drug will be destroyed by the commissions made by the divisional official, the sub-divisional official of the faculty.
Health officials who were informed about the seizure answered present at the scene and took stock of the confiscated drugs, examined them as well as carried out further investigations on the composition of the drugs before handing them over to the authorities for destruction. A thorough investigation by the various actors, a commission has been put in place by the senior divisional officer for FACO, Viang Mekala, to oversee the discarding of these fake products. It is important to note that this is not the first time contraband products in the likes of illicit drugs and non-biodegradable plastics have been seized at the Bota port in the seaside resort town of Limbe by military and the custom officials.
On to politics on News Art today. Militants of the Cameroon People's Democratic Party, the CPDM FACO 5 chapter, have affirmed their commitments and shared efforts to stand by their party president. This was during celebrations to mark the party's 41st anniversary that took place recently in the coastal town of Idinau. Natalie Njuma has the details.
At the Idinau Multipurpose Banquet Hall that the CPDM militants of FACO 5 converged to celebrate the 41st anniversary of the party. The celebratory fanfare began with a unitary march past from the banquet hall down to the town center and back to the hall. A multitude of persons, amongst them militants and top officials, including the mayor of Idinau, Tonde Gabriel, flooded the newly constructed Idinau banquet hall to sing, dance and make merry as their party clocks 41. It is worth noting that the CPDM party was created on March 24, 1985 at the Bamenda Congress Hall by President and Chairman of the party, His Excellency Paul Biya. The celebration, which is rippled across the national territory, saw the president of the FACO 5 section rallied his militants and sympathizers from all the corners of Idinau to chant anniversary song.
It is very clear, as I earlier said, 41 years in existence is not 41 days. At least the CPDM party has attained the maturity rate. We are on the maturity stage now. So I'm urging my militants that we should regroup, mobilize, and strengthening our relationship on grassroots militants. Because what we have at hand is the mobilization of grassroots militants for any eventual electoral deadline that will come up. We don't know and we don't know when. We have to be very ready, alert. So my militants, I'm giving them this message that they should not go and sleep or lend their effort. They should go and redouble their effort by mobilizing all the basic units, the cells and the branches has to be revisited so that we preach to them the good works of the CPDM party.
Was spiced with songs and dances from several youths and the cultural dance group. On behalf of the FACO divisional delegate, of the Central Committee of the party, Tonde revealed that they shall be ready to assist any youth with difficulties to register. Mayor Tonde thanked the population for their massive turnout to celebrate the party's birthday and for all the praises that were showered during the event. Meantime, the president of the CPDM Fako 5 chapter, Pende Emmanuel, equally pleaded with the mayor for the construction of a leisure park at Idinao for the youth and the population at large, for they need a park where they can equally go to relax and recreate.
CPDM celebrates 41 years in solidarity in the Bamuso subdivision with hope for growth and a bright future for the inhabitants of Bamuso. Lima Chud Mojoko was there. She brought back the following report for News Hour.
Our president.
Bamuso subdivision in the Bakassi Peninsula was buzzing yesterday, March 24, 2026, as CPDM party celebrates 41 years of great achievement. The celebration, which was graced by the divisional officer Choyo Leonard, CPDM section president Comrade Ngale Daniel Etongo, the Lord Mayor of Bamuso, Samuel Meme, kicked off with a massive march past from the beach walking to the council. This was a show of solidarity, commitment, and celebration. Militants from Bongo Bamuso, Elwani, Dikomebalue, Mokoko were all present declaring their support. This demonstration for militants brought about new militants who declared their full support to the ruling party.
And as from this day, I pledge my sincere loyalty, faithfulness to this great party.
During Honorable Daniel Etongo's speech, he emphasized the love His Excellency President Paul Biya has for the youth, hence supporting youth in Cameroon with 50 billion CFA francs. He further echoed how youth of Bamuso subdivision can benefit from the donation.
The 50 billion that was given by the President of the Republic and was carried by the state budget, it's already functional, and so the youths in their various groups have to see how to benefit from that package. We have
Honorable's take-home message to militants is that young minds seeking to lead should remain humble and know they aren't indispensable. He goes further to call for militants to be mature because 41 years is a sign of maturity and growth.
Maturity. 41 years represents perseverance, it represents resilience.
At the end of the celebration, Councillor Mike Anje, one of the militants, indexed in saying 41 years is indeed a sign of maturity and expansion.
A man at 40 is really a matured man. And it is the first celebrations we are having after a very outstanding victory in the October 12, 2025 election.
Satisfaction filled the heart of militants as the vibe remains solidarity and moving forward. With the party's growth, Bamuso's future looks bright and promising.
Lima Chud Mojoko ending that report. We now talk religion on News Hour today, where His Lordship Bishop Michael Bibi has recently turned 9 in episcopacy. To fet this milestone, he joined the Catholic faithful of Bafia, not just to encourage his flock, but to remind them of God's love for them. Details with Honorin Cheng.
The Bishop of the Diocese of Boya, Michael Bibi, has been occupying the episcopacy for 9 years and counting. To mark this milestone, he chose to spend some time with Catholic faithful of Bafia in the southwest region of Cameroon. Bishop Michael Bibi is not just a leader and man of God par excellence, but the shepherd who keeps stewarding his flock towards their faith journey. The population of Bafia turned out massively family to likewise meet and greet His Lordship Michael Bibi and fet 9 years in the body. Throughout his stay at Bafia, he used the occasion to remind the Christians to remain steadfast in the faith while looking up to God, the author and finisher of all things, be it good or bad. In the Boya Diocesan District, His Lordship Michael Bibi has been termed a cotton tree of faith for his firm and unyielding contributions to the Catholic Church. Little wonder, he continues to provide spiritual backup for them all.
You're welcome back, dear viewers. You're listening to News Hour on Royal Television. Let's now take you out of Cameroon, where Congolese rapper Metro Gims has reportedly been arrested in Paris over alleged involvement in a money laundering investigation, according to French authorities. And 12 senior officers from the South African Police Service have appeared in court in Pretoria after being charged with corruption and fraud linked to a controversial police contract. Details of the stories and more with Nanga Sonia.
Congolese rapper Maître Gims was arrested on his arrival in Paris on Wednesday as part of an investigation into money laundering. Africa Intelligence is reporting that the singer, whose real name is Gandhi Juna, was taken into custody at Roissy Charles de Gaulle Airport by the National Judicial Customs Systems. It says Paris judges are investigating a complex money laundering network involving multiple shell companies set up in different countries. These firms were allegedly created to avoid French taxes, have issued fake invoices, laundered money from illegal activities, and concealed the origin of the funds. 5 former drug traffickers from the Paris region, now involved in financial crime, have reportedly already been implicated in the same case. Africa Intelligence says investigators are particularly examining a large luxury real estate project promoted by Maître Gims in Marrakech. The Kinshasa-born singer was the biggest selling recording artist in France last year. South African anti-graft investigators have arrested 12 senior police officers on allegations of corruption and fraud, prosecutors said. The officers appeared later in a court in the capital, Pretoria. National Police Commissioner Fanny Mesembe was served with a warrant ordering him to appear in court next month in relation to an investigation into an allegedly corrupt contract to provide health and well-being services to police officers. The arrest comes while an inquiry continues into allegations of high-ranking corruption in the South African police. The inquiry was ordered by South African President Cyril Ramaphosa, who also suspended the police minister last year. A second inquiry by Parliament is also looking at claims that senior police officers had corrupt relationships with alleged crime bosses and in some cases allegedly received money from them for favors. The arrest of the 12 officers relates to an allegedly corrupt contract to provide health and well-being services to police officers, the National Prosecuting Authority's Anti-Corruption Investigative Unit said in a statement. The police officers made their first court appearance on Wednesday alongside Vusimuzi Kat Mantwala, the owner of the Medicare 24 company that was awarded the contract, who is suspected of links to organized crime. Some of the officers arrested were part of the bid committee that evaluated and awarded the contract, and prosecutors alleged on Wednesday that they have disqualified the company's application. The United Nations on Wednesday say 2025 was the deadliest year ever on the so-called eastern route for migrants from the Horn of Africa to the Arabian Peninsula. The UN Migration Agency say the number of people who died or went missing on this route across the Red Sea doubled to 922. Tens of thousands of migrants from Ethiopia, Somalia, and neighboring countries attempt the crossing each year, mostly from Djibouti to Yemen. They travel to the wealthy Gulf states in the hope of finding work as laborers or domestic workers. Many of them find themselves stuck in Yemen, the poorest country on the Arabian Peninsula, and which itself has been embroidered in a civil war for nearly a decade. Some migrants have even chosen to return home due to the risky conditions there. The UN agency says it is collaborating with the government of Djibouti in a bid to promote safe and dignified migration routes so that further tragedies can be averted. Last month, the IOM added 8,000 people died or went missing in 2025 on dangerous migration routes. That is an average of 21 people per day, but it said the real toll is likely far higher as cuts in funding have impacted humanitarian access and the tracking of deaths.
We now talk sports, where a disputed decision surrounding the Africa Cup of Nations has escalated beyond football, drawing in political tensions and placing Patrice Motsepe under increasing scrutiny, both within the sport and in his home country. Details of the sports story with Kusona Claudia.
The controversy, which stems from a highly contested AFCON ruling, has ignited widespread debates across the continent, with critics questioning the integrity and transparency of decisions taken by the Confederation of African Football. What initially appeared to be a sporting dispute has now taken a broader geopolitical dimension, particularly influencing relations between South Africa and Morocco. At the center of the storm is Motsepe, whose leadership of CAF is being tested amid accusations of bias and calls for accountability. The situation has intensified domestic pressure in South Africa, where stakeholders are increasingly demanding clarity on the federation's position and the implications of the decision. The fallout has also revived long-standing diplomatic sensitivities, especially concerning the Western Sahara issue, where Morocco's territorial claims have historically created friction with several African states, including South Africa. Observers note that the overlap between football governance and political interests is once again exposing the fragile balance within African continental relations. While CAF has yet to issue a comprehensive response addressing all concerns, the growing backlash suggests that the governing body may be forced to review its decision-making processes to restore confidence among members' associations and fans alike. As the situation unfolds, the African controversy serves as a reminder that in Africa, football is often more than just a game. It is deeply intertwined with politics, identity, and regional influence.
Pupils of classes 5 and 6 of Little Poly Flinders of Wonya Imongo, Great Sopo, and Moliko Boya have visited Royal Television during an excursion exercise. Out of Cameroon, we told you that Congolese rapper Metro Gims has reportedly been arrested in Paris over alleged involvement in the money laundering investigation. And in sports, CAF President Dr. Patrice Motsepe has been placed under increasing scrutiny, both within the sport and his home country, as a result of disputes surrounding AFCON. Thank you so much, dear viewers, for being part of News Art today. It has been a production of Nguni Sonita, technical assistance from David Titango, general supervision from Alaji Bubasali, and presented by me, Frida Leina. Thank you so much. Catch you all tomorrow, same time for another News Hour. From us to you is bye-bye.
My proud nation, this is your favorite girl, Mbeng Lilian, popularly known as Caro Abonglesong.